Hey everybody, this is Ray from Onourshelf. Today we're going to be giving away the Google Nexus 7. To win is very simple. Rule number 1, you have to be a subscriber. Rule number 2, simply leave a comment and no more than 1 comment per day. And we will announce the winner August 8th next week. Rule number 3, you have to respond within 14 days. If not, it'll be given to the runner-up, which I never announced, but there always is a runner-up. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, the one that I'll be giving away is the one in this video. I'll package it up and reset it. It's only been used for like a week for review purposes, so it's still brand new. And enjoy the review. So to start off, here's my unboxing video if you missed it earlier. Here it is again in 18 seconds. Not a lot of accessories came in this box. Just basically a USB cable, power adapter, the actual tablet, and about 4 manuals. That's pretty much it. So to start off, there is no fancy intro, just a basic setup menu. Connect your Wi-Fi and pick a language, and it was already an update right out of the box. Okay, so let's start with the overall design of the tablet. This new Google Nexus 7, unlike the last model, has a smooth, soft texture. It's not exactly hard plastic, but it's kind of soft. The last one had like a stipple type material. And as you can see on the back, it says Nexus and also Asus at the bottom. And on the front, a very clean, smooth looking design, no buttons. And overall, this tablet is pretty light, weighing in at 290 grams. On the top of it, you have your headphone jack. When we flip over to the bottom, you have your input for your USB cable for charging or transferring data. On the back, you have a 5 megapixel rear-facing autofocus camera. On the side, you have your power button for on and off, and also your volume toggle controls. And on the back, up top, you have your speakers, which features a virtual surround sound feature, which makes these speakers sound pretty loud. Some of the loudest speakers I've heard on the 7-inch tablet. And on the bottom, you have your stereo speakers. On the front, a 1.2 megapixel fixed focus camera. Okay, so here's a look at the specification chart. I'm gonna read off some of these. It has a 1920 by 1200 HD display with scratch resistant cornering glass. The camera features a 1.2 megapixel front facing fixed focus camera, a 5 megapixel rear facing autofocus camera. The OS is Android 4.3, Bluetooth 4.0, NFC Android Beam, 16 gigabytes of internal storage, 2 gigs of RAM. The CPU is a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro 1.5 gigahertz. Battery life up to 9 hours of use on a full charge. Okay, so up next the display, and the display is gorgeous. As I said earlier, it features a 7-inch 323 ppi 1920 by 1200 HD display, and hands down in this size category, it's more than likely the best looking display out there in this size. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen anything yet that touches this. The iPad mini is very good, but it's not Retina and it's not as crisp and as clean as this display right here. So when it comes to things like watching movies and browsing the web, or just just simply looking at it, animated wallpapers are pretty cool. The ones I'm looking at right there, those are the ones that came with it. But here's the Avengers. Just take a quick look.
Look around you. You think that's my...
And keep in mind, I'm filming this from a camera, so this isn't an accurate representation of how it looks. It looks a whole lot better in person. And right here, I'm gonna play the same game on the iPad mini. It does look better on the Nexus 7, but not a whole lot better. Not that much better, just a little bit. And as far as browsing the web goes, you'll be very satisfied. Small text look great, and when you're viewing this thing in broad daylight, you won't be disappointed by the lack of visibility. It shows up absolutely fine. Also, if you're a photographer and you want to use this thing to show your clients when you go around to show them your work, this thing will work perfect. It gives a very accurate representation of pictures. Okay, so let's talk about performance. Now, it's nothing very cutting edge. I mean, it's on par with everything else in this category, if not a little bit better. But it features a Snapdragon S4 Pro 1.5 gigahertz processor with an Adreno 320 with 2 gigs of RAM. And that is plenty of power for this little guy. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about performance. However, I'm going to say that while browsing through menus and multitasking, I didn't have any stuttering at all. The device worked perfectly. And just watch a few clips of some pretty high processing games. Just check this out. Okay, so let's talk about hardware and audio quality. It's missing an SD card slot or any kind of card slot for that matter, and also it does not have a removable battery. However, you do get 16 gigabytes of storage, and there's also a 32 gigabyte model available. And you also do not get a flash. And you can also charge this product wirelessly with a G wireless charger. As far as audio quality goes, the speakers sound really good at high and low volumes. As far as the cameras go, there is a rear 5 megapixel autofocus camera, and on the front you have a 1.2 megapixel fixed camera. And the camera in this device isn't anything cutting edge, but it's definitely good enough. If you've owned an Android device recently, you know that the software that comes with the cameras are pretty neat. You can change like the exposure, change the, you can put all types of filters on them, and there's a bunch of different features to play with, and they're pretty neat. So here are some pictures I've taken earlier with the rear facing camera with multiple lighting conditions and different exposures. And here's a look at some video recorded from the rear facing camera. Doing the second clip when I'm at Walmart, I was moving the camera really fast. As far as the battery goes, it has a reported smaller battery than last year's model. However, that gives you up to 10 hours of browsing the web and now 9 hours of video playback. And for the most part, I mean, that's pretty much all day use. You'll get a full day use out of this thing on a full charge. Excuse me. As far as standby time goes, I left the thing sitting for a whole day straight, and there was like 2 apps running in the background. They weren't really being used, and I left it charged at 90%. When I came back, it was at 88. So that was after almost 24 hours of just sitting there. So standby is pretty good. As far as charging time goes, I'm not exactly sure what's reported at the moment. However, I started charging this thing when it was at 20%, and I came back in 2 hours and it was fully charged. And also, there's one other thing I want to mention before I end this review. Their voice recognition feature is pretty good. You don't have to speak as slow as I did, but it works pretty well. Search for farm pigs. So overall, I give this tablet a 9 out of 10. It is very good. And there are 2 models available currently right now. This one's a 16 gigabyte model. It's available for $229, and there's also a 32 gigabyte model. It's available for $269. Both of these run off of Wi-Fi. Later on, there will be a 4G model available. I'm not sure what that one's going to go for just yet. The only reason I didn't give it a perfect 10 is because, one, it doesn't have a flash, and a lot of people buy these devices specifically, not specifically, but they buy them for the cameras now. Cameras are huge with Instagram and everything like that, and also it doesn't have an SD card slot to expand the memory, so that doesn't really help it. But if it had those 2 features, it could be a perfect 10. I mean, if you're thinking about buying this or the iPad mini, at this point I would get this only because of price though. But keep in mind, the iPad mini also doesn't have a flash, and it also doesn't have an SD card slot, and you know Apple is not going to add it. They're very stubborn when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it also does not have a removable battery, so neither one of these devices have any of those things. But really, they kind of are on par with each other as far as functionality goes. However, I have to say, this thing is slightly better. And check this out. This thing doesn't have a flash, but there was a flashlight app in the App Store. So you want to see what it does? Here it goes. It's kind of funny. It just turns your front-facing screen white. I didn't know that. So, but anyway, that's been a review of the Google Nexus 7 from Asus. Well, it's made by Asus, 16 gigabyte model. One of the best tablets to come out this year, hands down, especially in this size. Probably the best tablet. You know, I'm going to say it. It is the best tablet in this size. Currently out as of right now. Thanks for watching. And remember, we are giving this particular one away, so enter for your chance to win.